everybody, and welcome back to yet another Playmates review of the Godzilla x Kong The New Empire. I could have ordered the words a little bit better, but I'm excited to get into today's figure, and of course, this is the antagonist for the movie. This is Evil Monkey, Skar King. He is a big orangutan carrying a big whiplash, and he is there to terrorize Hollow Earth. Can Kong and Godzilla put a stop to him? That is what we're gonna find out in the movie. In the meantime, let's take a look at this 6-inch figure. So here is the package. Obviously, we have our image of Godzilla and Kong at the front, as now it is a standard for all of these figures going forward. Skar King with Whiplash, and these are all the other logos. And then here is the side, here is the other side. As you can see, it's in French because I'm holding a Canadian imported version of the product. So, a little instruction how to connect the whip together. All right, here's the bag. And for some reason, I think the Skar King looks a little bit off for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's just the render. Not sure, but there's something about it that just looks a bit off to me, like he's a lot darker than what he's actually supposed to look like. Bottom here, of course, we have the list of all the other figures. Obviously, I'm covering up the spoiler monster, but if you know, you know. And it shows you all the other things you can do with the whip. There you go. And then the movie synopsis. If the camera can focus up, there you go. You may pause the video to read it. I'm not gonna waste my time reading it, but I will read the paragraph for the figure itself. The evil Skar King rules over the fiery Hollow Earth kingdom, wielding a whiplash, and commands an unstoppable army to destroy Godzilla and Kong and conquer the world. Let's take it out of the package and see what it looks like. Let's do it. The figure is out. I'm actually quite surprised with how small. He's quite skinny for starters. Secondly, I just feel like he's a lot shorter. I don't know why. I'm getting this feeling that he's not scale accurate. I hope he is going to be bigger than Godzilla and Kong. Because right now, just by looking at him, it feels like he's gonna be easily beaten up by Kong. So Kong can solo him. Kong may be able to beat him and bully him. That's what I'm getting out of this. Let's pull them out for a comparison. So here's Kong, here's Godzilla. How is this guy gonna require both Godzilla and Kong's involvement to take him out? I guess, like I said, probably is with his army. I think that's what's gonna make him the biggest threat, is his intelligence and the army he controls. But realistically speaking, just looking at these figures, he is so short. He's shorter than Kong. He's skinnier than Kong. Godzilla will easily crush him. If Godzilla can take out Ghidorah, Skar King shouldn't be a problem. This is just speaking on the perspective of these figures, not as what they are actually like in the movie. But Playmates is not always scale accurate, so you gotta keep that in mind. Keep in mind that Mechagodzilla isn't scale accurate back then. You just gotta roll with it. But I just find it quite funny that Skar King isn't actually this big. He's smaller and skinnier than Kong. And here's another comparison. Here's Zuko. Yeah, there you go. Zuko is actually not that small. You put him next to Skar. It literally looks like Skar King is his dad or something. But let's go back to just Skar King as himself. I will say, one thing that Playmates has always nailed perfectly with the figure, regardless of the character, no matter what the figure is, they have always done articulation really, really well. The same goes here with Skar King. And Skar King has something that is new. Waist articulation. Zuko had it. When I reviewed Zuko, I didn't expect him to have waist articulation, but surprise, surprise, he did. But Skar King, I did see it coming. When I first saw the glam shot of him, I already knew, oh yeah, his waist is gonna be articulable, that's nice. And I was right, look at this. Big waist articulation. You can rotate 360 degrees all the way around. I guess that's good for posability, and it maybe just, you can display Skar King's flexibility that pretty easily. Other points of articulation in the legs, of course, very skinny legs compared to Kong's big furry ones, but it's the same points of articulation. You can move the knees and the legs as a whole, but the feet are locked in place. You cannot move the feet, but I think that's okay. It's not too big of a deal. arms, obviously you can move the entirety of the arm easily. You can move the elbow. You can move the shoulder up and down. The waist, not the waist, sorry, the wrist is articulable. You can twist it all the way around. And then the same thing with the other side. There's no special arm. Kong obviously has the beast glove, so that's why in his case, that specific arm, the movement was a little bit restricted and a bit stiff because of the beast glove. Skar King doesn't wear any of this, obviously. So it's the same thing with the left arm here. You can easily have many points of articulation. So once again, move the shoulders up and down. You can twist the shoulders, move the elbows, move the wrist. And then this is the hand that's holding the whiplash. So, you know, there is lots of flexibility with Skar King. I like that. It really feels like I'm holding an action figure, a true, fully functional action figure. Also, the head. You can very much rotate the head all the way up, if you wish. There you go. So, lots of articulation. And that's good. The playability is absolutely fantastic. Playmates has really nailed their Playmates really well because goddamn, you can sure play with their toys. I have been saying praises with all these new figures with the exception of Evolved Godzilla. This was the only one that I kind of had a problem with in terms of the colors and the inconsistency of the dorsal plates and the pink, but they have nailed it really well here with Skar King. What kind of red would you classify this as? I'm gonna say this is like goji berry red. If you know what goji berries look like, yeah, this is the same color scheme I'm kind of getting. It's kind of a specific comparison, but that is what I'm reminded of when I see the fur on Skar King here. He also has some tattoos going on his forearm here. These are just simple red lines. I mean, people have compared him to Kratos because of the Funko Pop. I can kind of see some resemblance here. Like this is like patterns and tattoos that Kratos might be wearing. You have a patch of white here and you just have two red lines. Like it's a bit sharp, I will say that's for sure. But it's there to, I guess, to indicate that, oh yeah, this is Skar King has tattoos. It's actually not the same on both arms though. So this is what it looks like on the left arm. Here's what it looks like on the right arm. Just one singular line, as you can see. So there is a bit of diversity going on. Nothing's really the same. There's also shades of white going on. So at the toes, you can see is where it begins to fade off into the white. Up the torso, you can see the chest area especially. There's just white, shades of white kind of integrated in with the red. There's a good blend of colors here. I like the fading effect that it's kind of giving me here. Under the armpits here, there's more white. There's good consistency here. They have what they couldn't do with the Evolved Godzilla. Consistent colors to make it feel unified and not out of place. You don't have one section that's just this color and then everything else is another color. But with Skar King's case here, they've actually nailed the colors pretty well. I actually cannot complain about it. It actually looks clean and unified. The tattoos may be a little bit out of place, but it makes sense for what Skar King is and what he looks like in general. So I think it's actually okay. I don't see a big problem with it. Obviously, there's also his face. Let's bring it in. That is his face. A bit scary, but I guess that's the idea. They want him to be scary. And he's got face tattoos. You can see it's like a big shuriken. You know, you have the red going up here and it just splits off to his cheeks on each side. You should have him roaring. You want him to be scary. He just looks like he's, you know, posing for a photo. Like this is his mugshot and he's just smiling for the camera. That's what it feels like. Obviously Kong's got like a roar face and oh my god, I just realized Kong's head is massive compared to Skar King. Now his main weapon here is a whiplash. So apparently this whiplash may be a spine of a Godzilla-like creature, or it could be from the war bat Kong killed in Godzilla vs. Kong. Again, these are all just theories. Nothing is confirmed yet till the movie comes out. But it's a pretty nice weapon to say the least. And as an accessory, this works well because they have it so you can wrap around Skar King too. So if you don't want him to hold it, you can wrap it around easily. So let's take a look at the whip as a whole first. This looks very clean. It's also very flexible. You don't have to worry about bending it too hard and it'll snap because it won't. The point of this is for it to be stretched out. So it's pretty good for a little little accessory, little tool. It's nothing like solid like Kong's axe. This is just a very flexible weapon, and I think it's actually a lot better. The fact that you can actually attach this onto Skar King's body, so you don't have to carry a whole thing around and risk losing it. So the way they do it in the packaging, I believe they just have you wrap it like this. There you go. It connected together. The idea is you want the whip to just wrap around him like this, something like that. Nice and simple. I think I might have done it a little bit off. I think it should have been up front a little bit more. Something like this. It doesn't have to be completely accurate. As long as it gets the job done, it wraps itself across Skar King easily. And there you go. So, what do you think? This actually looks pretty good. I think it looks really sick on him. When he's actually not using it and he's just wearing it, it actually looks like he's the bad guy. I think Playmates has nailed it with Skar King here. They've done what they couldn't do with Godzilla, and that is have unity in colors. And the tattoos look a little out of place, I will say that, especially on the arms, but the face was fine. They did the face tattoo well, but on the arms, the tattoo is a little bit off, so I think that's where I would deduct some of the points. But articulation and playability, 100% approved, because there is all sorts of articulation on there, including waist articulation. You can strike up Skar King in so many different poses. I will say I do wish Skar King is a lot bigger. That is the big criticism I have for him. I want him to feel like he is a bigger threat. A bigger threat that requires Godzilla and Kong to team up. Yet they made him so small. I just wish Playmates can make him bigger. I'm sure it's within a reasonable budget. Why not make him just slightly bigger than Kong? He doesn't have to be bigger than Godzilla. Just have him slightly bigger than Kong, maybe the size of Mecha Godzilla. But I don't know, it doesn't have to be scale accurate. I just want him to feel, you know, more like a villain. But let me know in the comments if you agree with me. But other than that, I love the figure. It looks great. The Whiplash is an amazing accessory that goes well around him. When he's not holding it, you can just easily wrap around him easily. Out of 10, what would I give Skar King with Whiplash here? I would give a 8 out of 10. The main two problems is the arm tattoos. Maybe just add a little more, maybe down here, just to complete it, so it feels more complete. So do the arm tattoos, and most importantly, the overall size of this thing. But that's all I gotta say for Skar King with Whiplash here. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. And I think we are done for the 6 inches for now. Not the spoiler monster. Anyways. Alright, we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.